Yes, it was like this. But I wish you had, as I've said, the chandelier and me are the oldest things here from the past, the only things from the past. Let me say, it was like a dream come true, actually, because I had never ever imagined that I would ever come to Calcutta, let alone Trincas. Living in Bombay, though I come from Bombay, somehow or the other, in Bombay, I led a very sheltered life. And all I knew about entertainment was what I heard on radio. There was no electronic media at that time. It was radio and a record player that we had at home. And besides that, listening to music and things like that, we never went out or didn't go out anywhere, except once or twice I remember my elder sister Uma taking me out to a place called Napoli. And then I've seen from outside a whole lot of other places in Bombay, like the Ambassador Hotel, the Taj, and things like that. But besides that, we didn't have that kind of a life or that kind of an exposure. So somehow, for some odd reason, I always thought Calcutta was abroad. That's strange, really strange. So I thought, what? Calcutta? I actually got a call from Calcutta. I couldn't believe it. I was performing at that time at the Ritz Hotel in Bombay. Okay. And it was called the Little Hut, where I was performing. And it was such an experience for me to be, though it was my second contract after Madras, where I really started. While I was singing at the Ritz Hotel, I think it's because of, by word of mouth, everybody started in the business to know about me. And I think it was slow, very slow, because there was no electronic media. But it was sure. And people kept saying, who is this Madrasi girl who's singing in the nightclubs? So Uncle Josh, that is Mr. Joshua, and Omi Mama, which is Mr. Puri, Uncle Josh and Omi Mama heard about me like this. So they wrote me a letter. No mobile phones, no nothing. So there was a letter which came in an inland cover, yellow, which is, I think, non-existent now. I don't think you get that anymore.
This was 1968. Right?
68, 69. And they asked me whether I would sing in their restaurant in Calcutta. And I said, what? It's really, really excited. And I remember my reply. I said, of course I'll come, dear, my dear Mr. Joshua, 2 fingers away from the margin. You know how you learn in school how to write a letter. Yeah. So I wrote a reply and I said, of course I'd love to come to Calcutta and I'd love to perform at Trincas. But the only thing I have to say is that I don't know how to wear a frock. Can you imagine calling it a frock? Some of the best musicians played in Trincas. Many of them left later to go to Bombay for greener pastures. But let me tell you, there's no place like Trincas or no place like Park Street, Calcutta. Trincas, Park Street, Calcutta is where it all happened, really, and where it's all happening even now. I come from a time and place where, right here, where there were so many firsts. There was only one speaker. I come from a time when there was no stereo. Everything was, like today it's become such a big thing, is to say, unplugged. I've been unplugged all my life. Oh, that's a great quote, isn't it? To be unplugged all your life. It was, actually. So, if I wanted to improvise and wanted to do new things in Trincas, I would take permission from Omi Mama, Mr. Puri, and Uncle Josh, and run across the road where they had Shuganis and Harmony House. And I would try to get different speaker, augment the sound over here, get a new mixer. There was nothing like a mixer, can you believe it? There was just one amplifier with one connection for the microphone. That was that. Everything else was unplugged, totally unplugged. It's mine. Trincas is mine, and Trincas is where my song became popular. And I said, for me, the song is always bigger than the singer. Big names like Bidu Apaya, Ben Ryder. So many big names that played here. The Lone Trojan, the Trojans. Then there was this, they were like the Shadows actually, the Savages, the Flintstones from Shillong. Oh, we made things popular together. We did songs like, we did Motown, a lot of jazz. But then soon I realized, it's really not about what genre you're singing. It's about what the people want. And I'm a total people singer, people's person. I'm a total people's person. So if people wanted to listen to me sing, all of me, why not take all of me? Can't you see? I'm no good without you. I would sing that, and if they wanted me to sing, I'm gonna wait till the midnight hour, I would do that. And Proud Mary, keep on rolling, or the Beatles, Can Buy Me Love, yeah. Or if they wanted to listen to Nancy Wilson or Tom Jones, I was singing everybody's song because I never, in those days, there was nothing like you guys call it, they do covers only, they don't have originals. So who cares? Who cares? Everybody doesn't have an original song to sing. And if you're a nightclub singer, then you definitely don't have an original song to sing. When I used to see the bookstalls just outside the door of Trincas, just the first one actually, the first one, it used to be right here. And I met people like Satyajit Ray. Can you imagine? He was in the audience. Satyajit Ray was there in the audience. There was Amitabh Bachchan, there was Kabir Bedi, Sharmila Tagore. Then we've had people, of course, Pataudi. And somebody I forgot to mention that day, besides Uttam Kumar and Shupriya Devi. All the top people used to come in whatever field. I mean, it's not just the entertainment business, but even people from the government, people, like Jyoti Babu and, people like that have come to listen to me in Trincas. Right. And so, who said that nightclub is a bad thing? I mean, it's crazy what people think, what their idea of a nightclub is, or what their idea of a cabaret is. They never understood till I kept telling people. Now, still, even now, I think people forget that a cabaret is actually a floor show. So if you stand, if Frank Sinatra stood in a floor during a night of, say, 2-3 hours, and he came on for 20 minutes, and he did a spot show, and he did a floor show, that was a cabaret. It was just so amazing, with people like Satyajit Ray. I mean, who would ever imagine that I would meet him one day just after my rehearsal outside of the bookstore. He was browsing. And then when he saw me, he said, we're coming in tonight to listen to you. And I was so excited. And he said, actually, I want to make a film about you. Sadly, that never happened, It's so sad. Because and I said, me? I was so excited. He said, yes, I want to make a film about this Tamil girl, this Madrasi girl who is singing in a nightclub in a sari. So that is one of the, memories that have always stayed with me and, about Trincas. My interactions with people were almost always when they would come to meet me in the confectionery. Right. So people like Sharmila Tagore and Tiger Pataudi, Sharmila Tagore was always so gracious and so beautiful. She would always come. But many of them had their favorite songs, like, she would love me to sing Killing Me Softly. And Uttam Kumar and Shupriya Devi, they loved me to sing Those Were the Days. That was one of their favorite songs, actually. Then Summer Wine was an old favorite. You just passed in front of the camera. That's okay. That's okay. it was one of, but Trincas, by any standards, I would say, has been the place where people remember me the most. So wherever in the world I go, if I see somebody from India, almost always it would be that they would come up to me and say that they heard me sing in Trincas. And one of the all-time favorites, I think, of Trincas has been California Dreaming, Listen to the Pouring Rain, of course, Fever, and surprisingly, not so surprisingly, Summer Wine. And I always used to improvise on that and say, oh, Trincas wine, strawberries, cherries, and an angel kissing spring. My summer wine is really made from all these things. Take off your silver spurs and help me pass some time, and I will give to you Trincas wine. That's actually great fun. So that used to be one of the all-time Trincas favorites.
You also mentioned Amitabh Bachchan came in.
Amitabh Bachchan, I mean, having him over here was absolutely fantastic. But that was because he was also living in Calcutta at that time. And one of the favorite, I mean, funnily enough, my husband's favorite is also Matilda. And one of his favorites, that is Amitabh Bachchan's favorites, was also Matilda, sing a little louder, Matilda. Matilda, she take me money and run to Venezuela. Everybody, Matilda. And so many people would join in, and I would tell everybody to join in and sing. I remember one funny incident when I used to take the mic to people and say, sing along with me. And now everybody, of course, is doing that. So I used to take a mic, and once when I went to a certain gentleman who was near the pillar over there, he and his wife were sat over there, and I took the mic to him and I said, now, when I say 1, 2, 3, 4, please sing Matilda. And he said, okay. And I did 1, 2, 3, 4, Matilda. And he sang so beautifully. After everything was over, I asked my husband, I said, how did you like the way that gentleman sang? He said, you know something, he's my boss. I don't know how he's going to take it tomorrow morning. Name is Noshir Senna. He's one of our Trincas regulars, actually. And I remember once when I was so in love with Johnny, really, and it was all big. Johnny's my husband, and it was all because of Trincas that it happened. And he walked in when I was singing a song called Sunny, and we had decided between ourselves that if we ever got married and if we had a son, we'd call him Sunny. And so that's how, we named our son Sunny. So it's actually a Trinca, overflow. And it's been really amazing. I remember once saying, improvising and saying, the line says, Sunny, thank you for the sunshine you brought my way. Sunny, you smiled at me and really eased the pain. Now my dark days are done, my bright days are here. My sunny one shines so sincere. And I said, Johnny, one so true, I love you. And I thought I'd done such a romantic thing and such a wonderful thing. After the show was over, when Johnny came to meet me in the confectionery, I asked him so excitedly, how did you like the song? And did you like the way I said, Johnny, one so true? He looked at me and he said, I don't particularly relish my name being spoken in public. Whoa! That was something, yeah.
That's a memory for sure.
That's a memory for sure. A memory for sure. And another thing that would excite me about Trincas was when everybody went away, there would be that hot cup of coffee for me in true Trinca style. After having the bouquet of flowers, and the flowers were on the table, and my lovely, I wonder if you all still have the cups and saucers. It had little roses on it. It was noritake, and it was really beautiful. The hot cup of coffee, a lovely toast in the middle of the night, and the bouquet of flowers, fragrant roses from Trincas. Come. listen to the music and enjoy the food and enjoy the entire ambiance of Trincas like nowhere else in the world. Trincas on Park Street. Yeah, that was it.
That sounds good.